Hello, my name's John Wilkins and I'm the founder and co-chairman of Naked Communications globally. Motto at work, probably open-mindedness. I've always believed to work in our industry you've got to love change and be open to all new things, new people, new companies, new channels. So yeah, I'd guess open-mindedness off that list would be the closest. Oh, very good question. Advertiser of the decade. I think they're not really an advertiser, but I think of the last decade you'd probably have to say Apple for continuous consumer innovation, and you know, they're probably the best example of a demand side business of the last decade, although all of those are pretty good, but I'd say Apple. Probably not the next decade. Best agency in 3 adjectives. I would say they need to be on the side of the client. It's not an adjective, but I think they need to be a partner. I think they need to be fueled with ideas, so they need to be idea-centric. And I think as a third one, they need to be a very talent-centric in their organisation and the way they work with other companies. I think the world, probably more generally, the world influences advertising. I think advertising should always be a mirror to culture. You know, we have a great privilege of reasonable budgets to accelerate our ideas, but I would have thought generally the world influences advertising. There are instances where great advertising influences the world, but generally I would say it's the latter. Again, another very, very tough question, because obviously working globally you get to see amazing things all over the world and it's very hard to create a uniform bench. But you know, Cannes, I think the good thing about Cannes is generally the cream rises to the top. So you know, I think a lot of the work Uniqlo have been doing in Japan is pretty amazing. I think there's obviously been some fantastic stuff with Nike, mostly originating from the States. I think the last year's winner, the Tesco campaign from Korea, was pretty amazing. But I do think at the moment the best work tends to fuse technology, ideas and business results. Yeah, I would say the most effective is definitely the first one, not the second one. I think, you know, the insight's reasonably strong for both of them, but the first one, you know, dramatises the effects of using your phone in a fairly shocking way, and I would say that's more likely to get a result. The second one will get a chuckle, but that's not really what this sort of communication is supposed to be about. I think it's borderline nowadays, so I would probably sit on the fence. I think it was certainly true when brands were more in the space of proclamation and an announcement and one-way communication. I think nowadays, as everything's become more conversational, discursive, and you inevitably want to extrapolate some kind of response, I would say how you say it is pretty important as well, you know. So I would probably sit right in the middle on that one and say I neither agree or disagree. Oh, very good question. What expressions and words would you ban? I mean, I think a lot of the jargon in our industry makes it, it's too defensive. You know, I'd probably get rid of, you know, most of the words that mean nothing. But I think the ones that probably offend me the most would be the sort of language advertising created in the 70s and 80s, which was sort of were the language of attack and war and, you know, just a lot of it used by media about, you know, driving awareness and creating, you know, frequency. And I don't know, it just feels all of that jargon's kind of old hat and defensive. So I would just try and make it more humanistic and sensible. My dream job when I was a child, I think... you know, like a lot of people who fell into advertising, I was just really interested in what made people tick and genuinely wanted to understand people's motivations and behaviours. So I guess I could have, you know, when I got my careers guidance when I was leaving primary school, they were sort of saying, oh, you know, maybe a psychologist, maybe a social worker. I think probably they saw me going into a more worthy environment, but you know, I think advertising can still be used very positively to help unlock exciting things for people. So some sort of shrink, I guess. I just think the industry is an amazing juncture, and it's probably never been more exciting. And you know, those that approach it with excitement will succeed, and those who approach it defensively or with peril will probably fail. But you know, there's never been a better time to be in the business. Thank you very much. Cheers.